In this screencast, we're going to talk about Google Drive and making and setting up a folder that can be shared with me in class, where you can put a lot of documents. You can use Google Documents and forms in there that you can collaborate with one another as students. But we're going to get it set up and get you knowledgeable on how to use it and how to upload documents to it. First thing that needs to be done is to make sure that on your iPad you have Google Drive installed. It's a free app. You can get it from the App Store. Of course, it's free. Icon looks just like that. If you haven't seen it, there's a little, seriously, if you don't have it now, you're way overdue. So when you first open your drive, when you open Google Drive, it'll look like this. There's a number of folders and files if you've actually used one before. So here's a screenshot of my Google Drive that I have for school, and if you tap in the upper right hand corner, it would be right up here in the screen of in the upper right hand corner of your iPad, you'll have another number of options to create documents, spreadsheets, forms, and in this case we're going to create a new folder, and that's what you're eventually going to share with me. The most important thing when you're going to create a folder, the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to name it. And you'll just type that into here. I want you to name this correctly, accurately, and perfectly. You're going to name it exactly like I'm showing you here that I'm circling. You're going to have your last name, comma, first name, dash, anatomy and physiology. So it's going to look exactly like my example here. Not this poor example that I took a screenshot of, but it's going to look exactly like this. Last name, first name, anatomy and physiology. So now that you've got a folder actually created and named correctly and accurately, what you're going to need to do is share it. You're going to need to share it with me. If you look at the top picture here, along all of those files and folders, you'll see a lowercase I in the gray circle. If you tap on that, it's going to give you all sorts of options. It's going to give you the details of that folder. So right here you can see my anatomy and physiology folder. It's named Lund, Mr. Anatomy and Physiology. If I tap on that little I, what you're going to get is all these details of that particular folder. So you can do a number of things here. You can share it, which is what we're going to do. You can remove it or delete it. You can move it to a different part. You can move it to your starred items. You can rename it, etc. So it will even give you information about where it is and when the last time is that you modified it. But you're going to tap this icon right there, which is share. This is going to allow you to share it with me. And the beauty of this is that anything you slip into that folder is going to be visible to me. It'll be shared with me. So it's just like having documents on your H drive through the school district. This is in a folder that is in the Google Drive. So in order to share this with me, once you tap the share icon on the previous screen, you're going to type in my email address, jlund@isd192.org, and make sure that you have the correct choice here. You need to have this that I can edit it. That way I can edit anything that's in there. I can leave you comments. I can get in there and edit some things for you to make your documents better. But once again, remember, once you've shared it, everything you put in there is visible to me. So now that you have that Google folder, it's created, it's named correctly, it's shared with me, the most common feature or action that you're going to have to take is you're going to have to upload something, most often from your Notability where you've worked on it and edited it. You're going to upload something from Notability, a file, into that drive. And so here's how we're going to do that. So this picture is taking a look at a particular document that I have in my Notability. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tap right on this little upload, the file with the arrow. I'm going to tap on that, and here's one common mistake. Pay attention. Here's what people often do. I found by troubleshooting that you do not want to open this directly in the Google Drive. Instead, you will tap Open In. I don't know why this works, but you want to open it in, you want to hit the open in icon instead of directly in Google Drive. What you do when you put it in directly in Google Drive with the icon that I have highlighted here, you will lose a lot of features. Namely, you'll lose a lot of pictures from your documents. So you always, always, always tap Open In when you get to this screen. So after tapping the Open In, you're going to select this little blue square right here that says Open Note In, and that's going to give you a whole additional number of options. You can open it in a lot of things from Dropbox to exactly the same way you would put something into a Schoology Dropbox. You here are going to tap Open in Google Drive. That way it'll put it into a specific spot in your Google Drive. Again, another important step here that you'll get used to is that just tapping unload or upload here, you are not going to be done. When you upload it, it is, uniquely enough, going to go into an uploaded or an uploads file. It is not in the folder that you created and shared with me. Therefore, I can't see it. So again, I just uploaded this document called Lab Report Template and Rubric 2013. I'm again going to tap the little I because I need to move it to the folder that is shared. If you don't, it's the exact same thing as saying that, well, I've got my homework done, but it's in a different notebook. It's not the one that I turned into you. You have to get it into the folder that's shared with me. So after you tap the I, you're going to, the same options that we talked about previously are here. There's the share, there's remove. You're going to move it too, so you're going to put it in a correct folder. So now, once you click move it here, you're going to see a whole bunch of options. And again, here's my file folder that I created earlier in the screencast. That's what I'm going to tap, and then I will tap the move. So lastly, just to remember that it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. If you haven't used it, I know that a number of different courses, a number of different teachers use Google Drive, so some of you are going to be familiar with it. You've got to ask questions. It's very convenient for us to use it. We can share things. We'll use it with the teacher-student relationship, and you'll use it in lab groups all the time. But here's a couple of important things to remember. That if it isn't in the folder that you made and shared with me, I can't see it. I already gave you this example. It doesn't count, and it never did count if you did your homework in a different notebook than what you turned in. If you did your homework but you left it in your room on your bed. If you did your homework but you left it in your backpack and didn't turn it into the teacher. It's the same thing here. You've got to turn it in. You've got to put it and make sure that it's always in that file folder that you shared with me. And a thing to remember, and we'll give you an example of this, is that I actually have access to the details of that shared folder. In other words, I know when everything was modified. I know it's time-stamped when you moved things into that folder. It's time-stamped when you created them. And so we'll give the benefit of the doubt to the iCloud, to Google, that timestamps this when you put it in there. So just be aware of that before, believe it or not, I've heard the excuse before, it was in my drive the whole time, you just didn't see it. So, with a lot of practice and a lot of experience and some leeway that you'll get from me at the beginning, Google Drive is going to work pretty slick for you. It'll be a pretty good tool to use.